My name is Michelle Golebiowski. You can call me Michelle Go for short. Seems to be a lot easier. I'm very excited to speak with you all today because I'm passionate about road safety as well as mental health, and I'm very moved by the relationship in the community with respect to the United Way and the Canadian Mental Health Association, and how they've both helped me with respect to mental health and being able to give back to the community. Before I share my story with you, I would like to give you a little bit of a background on myself. In 2006, I lost my mother to cancer. She was 48 years old. She was my rock. And then that propelled me to go back to the University of Winnipeg, where I enrolled in the Public Relations Diploma program. My first 2 weeks of university, my grandfather passed away. He was 79. September 29th was the day that we buried him. And on that day, I got a call from a very good friend of mine to go with her for a ride in her vehicle. And I decided to decline. And that was the first time I ever said no to her. And she was my best friend of 8 years. She was killed by a drunk driver that night. That is what started my public speaking and raising awareness on behalf of road safety. 6 months later, my dad died. Every time I tell this story, I shake and I relive it. And without having to see this actually happening, you wouldn't really know the magnitude of losing so many people and what it does to me and how it makes me feel. So again, I'm very passionate to use these challenges in my life to share my story and help inspire you to make better choices and help you with respect to mental health. So I'll just continue. I will tell you that 6 months later, my dad passed away, and I did graduate from the University of Winnipeg with a diploma in public relations, followed by my management certificate. I thought I'd be a spokesperson for a product, but I never thought that that educational experience would completely change and shift the direction that my life was about to take. So my name is Michelle Go, and it's my pleasure to speak with you today about the United Way and how your support matters. So a little about me. The road that I've traveled has been full of bumps and obstacles, much like a lot of us experience. And so my journey began in road safety, and after that, I felt like I wanted to do more. What else can I do, you know, after losing so many people? And I figured that I would connect with organizations such as the Canadian Mental Health Association. So I first became involved with United Way through one of their partnering agencies, the Canadian Mental Health Association. Through the CMHA, I took a training called Mental Health First Aid for Adults Who Interact with Youth. And that was great training. I learned so much. I learned so much about mental illness. I learned so much about what I can do with my mental health and what I could do in the community to help others. So what moved me to become involved with the Canadian Mental Health Association is my dad lived with paranoid schizophrenia. My grandfather was diagnosed with manic depression, and my partner at the time, who was living with depression and anxiety. I had been hit personally by mental illness by 3 people of significance in my life at that time. And that kind of gave me the motivation to get up and, hey, do something about it, learn more about it, find out what people were going through, and what I could do to help support them. And that's what the mental health first aid training did for me. It showed me how I could better support people in those positions. So I share my personal experience to help break down stigma around mental illness with respect to those 3 people that I just mentioned. And it means the world to me to do it, because some of them aren't here to speak for themselves. So I help honor their memory that way. So organizations such as the Canadian Mental Health Association help provide the training and the resources and support in the mental health community. Attending the mental health first aid training gave me a better understanding of mental illness and what I could do to help. Did you know that we all experience mental health? Every single one of us in this room experiences mental health every day. And in saying that, I want to take some time right now to talk about self-care. So self-care is simply just taking time for yourself every day. Some examples of self-care for me are if I'm having a bad day or I want to do something to boost my mental morale, I'll call a friend, I'll watch a comedy. If I can, I will go dirt biking, or just this past weekend, I actually participated in my first mini moto race. It was really exciting. And so I do things for myself that I love to do that help to keep me happy. So whether your passion is animals, comedy, whether your passion is going for a walk, find out what makes you happy. Do a little bit of that for yourself every day, because I feel that in this world today, how busy we are, we don't make enough time for ourselves. So let's take time for ourselves every day to care for ourselves in the way that feels good to you. Mental health either touches Manitobans directly or indirectly. So 1 in 3 Canadians will personally experience a mental health issue in their lifetime, and for youth, 3.2 million youth between the ages of 12 and 19 will develop depression. That's huge. And for these students and young folk, they've already got enough going on that they're experiencing this too. So with respect to that, I would definitely seek out the Canadian Mental Health Association for those resources to help the youth. They're very well connected and very approachable. They will help you. And I'm available to answer any questions later on, as we talked about. So working with the Canadian Mental Health Association and the United Way helped provide me with a support system needed in order to make a difference in the mental health community and in my life. Organizations such as the United Way are the vehicle that help carry the message, that help drive the message, whether you volunteer your time, agree to donate money to the annual campaign, or encourage others to do so. When your coworkers come around with that pledge form, please sign that pledge form, because together we are all creating a better life for everybody. And I just want to thank you all for your time today. I'd like to thank you for letting me share with you, for letting me put myself out there. I can feel it in my face. I'm Polish. The red is coming out right now. So thank you for your time.